Alrighty. Oh, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening somewhere on this planet Earth. It is Monday, TGIM. Thank goodness it's Monday. And so what we're doing now is putting up with the panic. Everybody's nervous. Robin was just talking with me. He said he saw one person on the Twitter or something like that saying we're going to see $500 gold today, and it's like, $500 up. It's like, no. This is just a few banks. This is all part of the manifestation of allowing interest rates to be zero for too long, too much government spending, and not enough responsibility. I mean, it's just the mechanics of it. It will stop. It will end. The California bank, that SVB, as I was saying to Janos over the weekend, is not the normal bank. It's not a normal bank. It's not even close. It's the piggy bank for the Democrat Party, and owned basically by the Democrat Party. So I mean, they gave out, how many banks around give out $73 million for Black Lives Matter? I mean, come on. They're in this. They're trying to put $5 billion. They gave $5 billion to somebody for greening something or another. And even with all the very poor management, they still have pretty much all their assets. They just invested them a little twisted, doing the old mistake of trading the long end against the short end and getting burned from it, basically. And that's what it comes down to. But the assets are there. Someone will be allowed to buy it sooner or later. The problem is that someone wanted to buy it 7 days ago, but the Democrats wouldn't allow it to be sold. And so that was Sunday of a week ago. And then supposedly there were bids coming in on Friday of this week, that just passed. And I still hear nothing. It's because they only wanted to stay inside the Democrat family. And, but so far no one's been able to step up from the Democrat family to put out the money. So, they want a bailout instead. There's no bailout coming. They are backing the deposits, which is still in question when it comes to anybody over $250,000. But that will be resolved because in the end result, the assets are there and they'll be able to pay them off one way or the other. Metho, 2000. Metho. Just another fun Monday where the crazies are standing up on top of their chairs in the classroom and just shouting shouting crazy statements and ideas. But anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much about the banking system. If there's any problem, it sounds like Europe is resolving it, in Switzerland to start off with. Pretty much, again, it's that minus and zero interest rate for a decade that's really put a pressure on this whole thing. And then Powell starts raising rates, and it makes pressure more of a lack of earnings. Remember, I always say, I try to remind you here every week and every month and every year. I've been saying the same thing over and over again. You got to have earnings. People pay you to invest their money. You're not supposed to go out and lose it and feel like you've done something right. Strange, but it does sound strange. It's not politically correct. I know that. You're supposed to get some type of trophy or something of that nature, but that's the way it's supposed to work. You're supposed to take investors' money and put it into something that makes money. May not beat the S&P 500. It may not beat the FTSE, but it's supposed to make money. You're not supposed to buy bonds and then pay interest to the government at the same time. They're supposed to pay you interest when you buy their bonds. J.A., how you doing? See, I'm back from Prague. Today is my birthday. That's so nice. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, J.A. Happy birthday to you. And hope for many, 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 many square more. There we go. So, that's really what's going on. I don't think you have to worry too much. Matter of fact, I read an interesting article, and I was saying it to Robin earlier, about the. Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. I'm always jumping around. Um, about the COMEX. They shut down basically the London gold market, and now the COMEX is not going to get shut down, but there is a lot of pressure on it because we talk about how much is missing in the vaults. They have these paper warrants now that are in there that are supposed to be the same thing. It's called paper gold. People really want the physical stuff that sells. So, keep on dancing, J.A. Keep on dancing. We're dancing away. That's what we do here. We dance. We do lots of dancing. The markets make us dance. That's what happens in the end. We're always dancing, trying to keep up with Mr. and Mrs. Market. That's what it really comes down to. And all the little markets, here and abroad. All right. So from there, what do we got up on the screen here? Soybean meal. No. We should have soybean meal up there. Let's close that out. Save and close. Workspace. There we go. And there is the stock indices are really something. You can see, I'll make this bigger since it just popped up on the screen. You can see last night when they took UBS, bought out Credit Suisse, they had the stock market doing fine. Then it started to leak, got a little leaky like a rowboat, broke down, went into the minus. What did it do? It settled at 48 on Friday, and it traded all the way up to what was that? 48 to 78. Basically, that's the high right there, 78. So that went 30 points up. Then it fell from there down to 380. What was that? 3,919. Okay, is that right? That don't sound right. There it is. 3,897. So then it dropped, what's that, 51 points. All right, 51 points. Wow. And now it's climbed back up, and it's up for the day. So they don't know if they're coming or they're going. They don't know what to trust. They're scared. I don't blame them. They don't want to lose their money. Why do you think the Chinese keep their money in U.S. government bonds? Because they're afraid of losing it. They can't put it in their own marketplace. Someone will bury it or do something, Okay, so J.A. says, on Friday I bought physical silver as you told, and gold or silver is great in physical form. Oh, yeah, definitely. Matter of fact, not only that, it trades like 20 or 30% higher than the exchange gold, which is really strange. And then when we go and look at the back months, matter of fact, we can do that right now. Let's see. I haven't even looked, but let's put gold up on the screen since we're discussing that stuff. Discussing it. Let's see, where's it at? Right there. There we are. And there is... That's euro. All right. So right there is gold. And as you can see, the gold has gotten as high as $2,014.90. And now it's trading at $1,983. So it has dropped about $30, almost $27 down from its peak. And but when we look at a year from now, this is all the paper gold, really. That's what these futures exchanges really reflect, is paper gold. When we go and look at that, and we'll put it up on the screen for you too at the same time, and we go look at the gold contract like so, and then we move it over to the screen. As you can see, April gold up $17, trading at $19.90. And April gold of 2024 right there, trading at $2,063, up $53. In other words, back month where you can't exercise is trading higher. Matter of fact, when you look at December gold of 24, it's at $2,139. Look at December of 20. Was it that was where's that 24? 25, it's almost at, where is it? There we go. Go to 26, it's over $2,200. $2,218 at all-time highs, basically. And so The back months are much higher. Matter of fact, you can see June gold right now is over 2,000, and then you see April gold trading at 1990. So back months are higher because they can't be exercised and only can be delivered at expiration. So they're what we call European style. And so, yeah, it's, for a fact that's why physical gold, Robin likes to trade the gold coins, and he's always complaining to me. It's like, how come it shows $21 here? Every dealer I try to buy from wants to charge me $34. It's like, well, they know it's worth more when it's physical versus paper. They call them paper gold or warrants. They create a warrant. People trade it at COMEX, and it says that, well, we're backing it with gold. It's just not in the vault. That's like the old saying, it's in the mail. Keep looking for it. It's in the mail. So, and that's what the problem is. So, yep, that's the name of the game there. What else can we say about any of this at this point? Just that the gold is trying to dip down below Friday's close. So, a little pressure there. Nothing major. I don't think the central banks are going to let gold get too wild, but they have to let it pop up. I mean, the world is in chaos right now, just in action. Is that an exclamation point, Robin? I like that. So, yeah, I mean, that's the problem, is that it's as plain as the nose on our faces. There is some major panic out there. People don't trust the banking system as much this last week because, like I said, the ruling party here in the United States is playing around with it. They should have sold that bank. SVB should have been sold last Sunday. Now it's 8 days ago. But they refused to sell it because it's their bank. And so they can't sell it because then somebody will see all the criminal things they did in it. They didn't even have every bank has to have a risk manager. They didn't even have a risk manager for the last year. They had been doing all kinds of fun things. And then, like I said, they gave $73,400,000 to Black Lives Matter. I have no idea what that's all about. It wasn't a loan. It was a charity gift. Where do banks get off giving away charity? As I take a sip of my tea, I just shake my head. Can you hear the little rocks up in my head rattling? I'm just shaking my head. Hear that rock? That's the rocks in my head. Yeah, exactly. So, all right. From there, we will jump over to where will we go? Back to the currencies. Take a look at the currencies again and see what's going on. Unless anybody out there wants to see something, and we can go check it out and see what's going on. But yeah, that's the crazy that's going on right now. And there's euro. You can see that right there. Let's put euro up on. I don't think we even started off with the dollar index, did we? No. Let's get the dollar index up there. Where are you, Mr. and Mrs. Dollar Index? Right there. There's the dollar index. You can see without the hinkies, it's been going down for 3 days. That's the way it's supposed to go as far as I'm concerned. Dollar should go down. It's overpriced. Let's put the hinky ashkies in there. We'll see some red, I'm sure. Come on, hinky. There you are. 2 days of red. See that pressure? You can see today what is that? Let's put the dollar index over here. Right there. And there's the gold. And let's go to the dollar index. There it is right there. You see the dollar index trying to break down 2 days in the red also, just like the J4X. They're looking together. There's George of Silver. Looking on the quant this morning. Please, Doc. Thanks. Oh, yeah, where is it at now? It went into the buy on Friday at the very end of the day. Interesting. Where is it at? There it is right there. There you go. There's the Silverado. It's trying to break down a little bit. I said to Robin, there's probably, it's going to, you would think it would get to the 24s again. There's plenty of room up there. We're in a buy. I don't think platinum last week got into the buy. That's the problem. And, when I don't see that follow through in the platinum, it seems that there's, see, it missed it last week and it's flirting with it now. We're not there yet. Are we there yet? No, we're not there yet. Are we there yet? No, we're not there yet. And that's what it really is that the platinum hasn't joined in, and that makes me suspicious. Snape would say. So that's the problem there, is that we're not getting that action in the platinum. And as much as we, it's, George, as we all know, that it's as plain as the nose on our faces. We know it. We know there's some problems. We know gold should be bought. As far as I'm concerned, it should be $5,000 an ounce right now. I've said this so many times over the years on this webinar. If you told me 10 years ago, no, I even say it further back. If you would have told me in 2008, as the banking system collapsed throughout the planet, I know I say that out loud, and people look at me like I'm crazy. That's why we have quantitative easing now. Merrill Lynch is gone. Lloyd's of London is gone. I know they're still owned by people by name. It's the same thing as Credit Suisse. Notice Credit Suisse stock jumped up to $2.35 on Friday, and then they get taken over, and it's for 67 cents. So it loses 70% of its value just by being taken over. It's the same thing. Merrill Lynch, I think Wells Fargo, was it Wells Fargo? No, Bank of America. I think they paid $2 a share. I know J.P. Morgan paid $2 a share for Bear Stearns. Same thing, Lloyd's of London, they didn't have any takers. So the Exchequer owns it. It's the planet went bankrupt in 2008, and we talk about it here, and then everybody else keeps their mouth shut, but nobody can deny it. And you go through all the banks that exist today, like Citibank in New York, the stock is, $2 or $3 higher than what it was in 2008. That's it. That's all it is. $2 or $3 higher. Nothing more than that. It's gone, 2008, and we're in 2023. We're talking about 15 years now. Citibank, their stock has basically gone nowhere. Okay? It went down from $67 a share to $2 a share, and now it's trading around $4 a share. And then they did the fancy work. Dancing here. We're doing the dancing. They did the dancing. What they did is they did a reverse split. The reverse split means that for every share of Citibank, when it was at $2, all of a sudden was a 10-to-1 in reverse. It became $20 to make it pretend. So they shrunk the amount of stock outstanding by 10-to-1. And so all of a sudden, the stock that you owned, your 100 shares of stock, all of a sudden wasn't 100 shares anymore. It was only 10 shares. And now it was $20. Woo! So instead of having 100 shares at $2, you had 10 shares at $20. Woo! And everybody walks around acting like Citibank is, healthy and happy and so forth, and a lot of these other banks are. Not really. But in the end result is that there are strong banks out there. The SVB is just an anomaly. We knew that Credit Suisse, I've talked about this 4 and 5 months ago, it was in trouble. It was in the same troubles that Deutsche Bank is. And think about it. UBS, United Bank of Switzerland, bought $1.6 trillion worth of assets for $3 billion. That's what they did. Because now UBS, which was about a $3.4 trillion bank, is now a $5 trillion bank by buying Credit Suisse. And at 60 cents or 70 cents a share, why not? What's $3 billion when you're managing or working with 1.6 trillion now? I think anybody out there willing to pay $3 billion and get 1.6 trillion back? Sounds like a good trade to me. So, but overall, the banking system is not collapsing. It already collapsed. It's done and over with. And it's just one bank. And if they would be honest and let it get sold, we wouldn't be in such a panic. But since it's owned by the Democrats, they don't want it to go out the door. And so they're not willing to sell it. They turned down the seller 8 days ago, and they're supposed to have been sold today, but I don't see it. It's still not sold, so it means that it's not a Democrat willing to buy it. And so since a Democrat's not willing to buy it, they're not willing to sell it. And that's what it comes down to. And you won't get the media talking about it too loud. They'll just kind of keep on trying to be. Matter of fact, you don't even hear them talking about SVB. They're talking about they are showing SVB right now, but overall they're not. They're just talking about who does banking with them, not why it hasn't been sold. There's no story out there about why it has not been sold, and I'm telling you why. And this is why they turned down the buyers 8 days ago, and they were supposed to bids went in on Friday, and we're still not seeing anybody get awarded the trade. It should be gone by now. It should have been gone 8 days ago. And they've got plenty of assets, so there's no reason why they wouldn't be bought up. It's just that they're going to be managed now like a bank. And that's, it was a slush fund for the Democrats instead. So that's what it comes down to. And only Doc is talking about it, and then people probably think, oh God, he's crazy. Doc's crazy. Yeah, I'm crazy right most of the time. That's the good part. I'm still crazy, but I'm crazy right. All right, from there, let's jump back again, and that's what I'm saying right there. Is it's nice to see platinum in the buy, as you can see on the screen. It's important. They need to close this thing in a buy for the metals to really keep moving up. If they don't close it in a weekly buy this week, metals will find a way to roll over. They will. So be careful, traders out there. Have good stops. Do things with derivatives, option derivatives or binaries. Do something, but don't take on too much risk when it comes to the gold, because the central banks hate gold and they like to keep it low. And Robin and I were talking about that. It's in the incorporation of almost every hedge fund, every retirement fund, every mutual fund, that when gold goes up a certain price, they have to liquidate stocks. That's right. And they have to liquidate some bonds. And that is not what the central banks want. They want stability. That's what QE is all about. Quantitative easing is for stability. All right, we're done about that. Let's go over to now. Let's go take a look at the euro. See how Mr. and Mrs. Euro are doing this morning. I think I've gotten my point across about the crazy that's going on. And you can see here, euro trying to move up. We got the same thing going on over here. There it is right there, trying to move up. You can see it's jumping through the buy number. And the weekly is so close. Look at that, minus 0.00149. It is so close. It's trying to get into that buy. And I just shake my head. I'm a bull bear. So, I'm like, come on, take our dollar down, will you? Let's see. Nope, Doc, you are not crazy. Bank in Czech Republic are healthy and filled. Yeah, same thing here in the States. Tons of them are. It's just a few goofy banks filled with tons of cash on normal account. People not investing in U.S. Investing. In U.S., there is little cash and loot of leverage in banks. Yeah, right. It's dangerous if leverage is too high and management investing badly is even as bad as they invested and some of the crazy things they did, the assets are still there. And so it's not like, what was that one, FTX was it? The crypto fund, the crypto exchange, where they were speculating and leveraging and they blew out, billions of dollars of investors' money. It's not that way at all at SVB. I mean, they threw away $74 million for Black Lives Matter, but that's nothing on a $300 billion bank. Yeah, it was stupid. It's not appropriate as a banker. They shouldn't be doing that. They also gave a loan, a $5 billion loan to some greening thing. I don't know. And I don't know if it paid off or got wrote off, and lost money. But in the end result that's not that bad. It's like, like I said, $290 some odd billion is still sitting there in government bonds, trapped, because of the long trading long bonds, like a 10-year bond against a 6-month bond. And it will come back over time. They will get their money. It will be there. It will happen. So, you're right. Why they're running around screaming that the sky is falling is crazy. It is just plain out crazy. What it is they've pulled the curtain back. It's like the Wizard of Oz. They've pulled the curtain back. You see another Democrat process, a Democrat Party situation, where they run the bank, they do stupid things. Now they've gotten in trouble, and they're trying to hide it. Matter of fact, there's serious talk of the Democrat prosecutor in New York City trying to indict Mr. Trump tomorrow. They'll do anything to hide what they do. They'll do anything. I mean, honestly, they're just out of their minds. I guess, as the governor of Arkansas said, the difference now is between normal and crazy. And that's not good in politics. It should be a difference between one philosophy versus another philosophy, not normal and crazy. Definitely not. That's not a good avenue to follow down. That's for sure. All right, from there we dance our way over to cable. There's the cable. You see the cable moving up. Same gig, same action. Put it up on the screen. Right there. Marching its way up. What's up with that? That's Friday's close. Where's today? I don't know why it's not updating. That makes no sense, but we'll have to check on that. But it's moving up. We can see that on J4X right there, and we'll knock off the hinky ashkies for a second. You can see it. It's climbing up. At the same time, it closed on Friday in a buy and on a daily buy, and as you can see there, a weekly buy. And so it's moving up even more now. So, that's where we're at. And then when we slip over to, let's see where the Swiss is at this morning. And there's the Swiss. Again, that's not updating. What is going on here? Let's see if we can reload this thing. Straighten this thing out. What is up with you? Let's put it up on J4X. The euro is updating. Let's go. Where's that? Swiss right there. And Swiss, you see it's lifting up a little bit. We're in the buy, and we're in the weekly buy. Closed in both. Right there. Let's put that line in there. Find out why this thing's not updating on that product. And same thing with the daily. Went into a buy here, and it's still in the buy even today, trying to stay up, not down. As you can see on J4X there, it's up for the day. And let's see if it has a green candle too. Yeah, a hinky ashky. Yeah, see all that green right there. See it's going up. So that is that's the action of those. Now let's go check out the yen. See if that's updating. The yen's been selling off. We've been saying that. We've been seeing some really strong action in the yen. The yen is kind of broken away from the Swiss. You can see it there. Moving down. It's in a daily sell for a bunch of days. And now we are flirting with the weekly sell as we speak. Couldn't get into it on Friday. But notice that the fast, you can see it here, the fast moving algorithm slid into the sell last week, the weekly sell, and it's leading the way. And now the this is underneath the slow moving algorithm. The green is underneath the manifold, and that's usually a good sign that it's heading down. And that's what it's done. It's moving down, and we're in a daily sell here. So the pressure is against the dollar at this point, which it should be. The dollar is too expensive. We need the dollar in the 90s, 94, 95. Calm it down a little bit. That flight, people buying dollars is just flight to safety, which is not a good thing because, we need people to invest, outside the United States. We need the world to grow. We need all these countries, growing. We want the world to grow. We don't want the world to be the stepchild of it all, We don't want that. That's a bad expression in the 21st century, I guess. But you don't want it to be secondary. You want it to be primary. We want to see investing everywhere, not just in a few countries. Hence the reason why there's so much money from China and Japan and Europe sitting in U.S. government bonds. They keep on promising every 5 or 6 years, they keep on telling us how the BRICS are going to get their act together. They're going to back their currencies by gold or oil, and they're going to do it all, and they're going to make it, competitive, and never happens. It never happens. There was talk of Mexican peso going into the BRICS. Now there's talk of, who else did I hear just recently? Someone told me yesterday they're hearing Australia and New Zealand talking about joining the BRICS. It's like, good. If they join the BRICS, at least there's going to be some solid currencies in there. I say the rupee is probably the fourth most solid out of that group. So in other words, the Indian rupee, but the Mexican peso and the Australian dollar and the New Zealand Kiwi would be the strongest currencies in that, and they would be holding China and Russia and Brazil. They would be supporting those currencies because those currencies are horrible. They just don't. The ruble's gone from 4 to 77. It's like 80. It's crazy, and the currency that should not be named. And then you got the Brazilian real. You can't even get bids and offers. I can't even get one on J4X or my machine. There's not even a decent bid out there. And then there's the Chinese yuan. It's a fixed exchange rate device. It's not even a currency. It's just a fixed rate exchange device. And so, it's like we need real currencies to compete, not fake ones. So bring them on. Bring in New Zealand and Australia and the Mexican peso into the BRICS because we need some real currencies over there. Contract switch, eh? I see that, Robin. This is for the Doc, huh? What's he want? He wants June cattle instead of April cattle. Okay, no problem at all. So, where do we go from here? We were looking at the yen. Let's take a look at the Turkish lira. You see that's just kind of stumbling and bumbling its way up. It's trying to get into the weekly. It has not. Notice the fast. Let's move that down again. Notice the fast algo right there. Just kind of pressing along. Got through last week, showing some strength, and now we got the daily jumping in on Friday, going into a buy. Let's. So it went into the sell there. Let's do this. Where is it at? Let's go like this. So right there, we'll put that in right there, and then we'll put another one for the sell right there, and then we'll change the color of this one right here because it's in the buy. There we go. There is the action. All right, now from there, save workspace. There we go. Let's jump over to the Canada. There's Canada. Now, what is wrong with that? Why is that minus now? What the hell? It's not minus as much as it's not updating. What is up with this stuff? Let me see if we can get this thing to update. Some of these currencies are not updating. I don't know what their malfunction is. Where's that mouse? Oh, mouse. Let's see, right there. Put that in there like that. There we go. Now it's straightened out. I think it's straightened out. Yeah, there we go. And so there it is right there. It's kind of pushing along. Now let's see, oil. Notice the Canadian has been kind of, I guess it's trapped in this situation. It's trying to go up, but it's not going up. You can see the closing prices are lower, but you can see it was on this trajectory on the upside. And then when we go over to crude oil, right there, there's crude. Crude today broke the 65 area. It went down to 64.36. It's been on a downwardly drive, just as Canadian has been on an upwardly move, but not like whatever this is all about. I don't know, but then it tried it again and failed at it. It is acting very strange. The whole combination, where gold follows South African rand and oil trying to follow the Canadian. they're really sloppy in their action. They're not really able to hold on to the action itself. All right, from there, we slide over to, where are we going now? We go over to the South African Rand. There's the South African Rand. You can see it's moving up today. And at the same time, you can see it's still in that weekly buy right there. And then when we go over, let's put gold up on J4X. It's here somewhere. There it is right there. There's gold, and gold is trying to get up. It's, I guess you could take, let's see what the hinky, turn the hinky off. And it's down for the day now. And we're seeing that same thing in, let's show you on Chicago Quant. Right there. And there is the gold. It's trying to do the same thing, trying to move down. Still in a buy, of course. But, it's, and the fast-moving stochastic broke out into the weekly buy last week, 2 weeks ago now. And this is going on a third week, whereas we're just starting the second week with the slow-moving algorithm versus the fast-moving algorithm here. So it's weird times, and you put together all that banking news, and next thing you know, everybody's freaked. As they have a headline up on one of the financial channels, futures slightly higher as banking fears linger. That's what they say, linger. They're around. They won't go away. And that's because they won't sell SVB. If they would just sell SVB, it would be all over with. And so, it's supposed to be sold in 24 hours. You're supposed to liquidate the things and shut them down, one or the other. But you're not supposed to drag them on. And the media won't talk about it. And that's the problem. All right. From there, we slide down to, we go to the Mexican peso. And once we get done the Mexican peso, let's see how the major brick will be. Let's see, that's the major brick. There, right there. It's still doing that same thing. Ever since there's talk of them going into the BRICS, look at that. They've been beating the currency up against the dollar. Now, it's trying to get into the sell today. We'll see how that does. And then the weekly, with no problem, closed in a weekly buy last week. The news of them going into the BRICS doesn't exactly seem like it's propping the currency up in any way, because they're going to have to carry the Russian ruble. They're going to have to carry the, the Brazilian real. Those two currencies are very tough. And then you got the fixed rate tool for China. So they have a fixed rate transfer price that they transfer their currency. The currency doesn't even float. The People's Bank of China adjusts it every couple minutes or hours or something like that to what they want to do. But it's very small and minute. All right, now where do we go from here? Let's go. We're done with that. And what we do is we slide over to, we'll take a look at silver. And there is a silver. We'll go look at the metals complex. And again, silver's backing off. Let's just look at it on J4X. It's backing off too. It's like I said, I don't see the platinum lifting. And if the platinum's not going to lift, you got to be worried about being long these metals. You got to take your profits, because the central banks are going to come in and clobber it somehow. So there's the silver down for the day. Made a new high and went down. Maybe by the end of the day they get it going again. Hard to say. Where are we at on that? Let's see. So from there we go to copper. There's copper. Copper's trying to lift up. It's been in a sell for a couple of days, but really hasn't done anything. It was sideways down, sideways up, and now it's even up more, and it's flirting on the edge of. It's in that weekly sell since the 420 area. It's really hard to want to get a hold of the industrial metals at the moment. It's a tough place, because the economy in the world is being twisted by these politicians, basically. It's not like they don't twist it, but this time, it's so blatant. SVB should be sold. Matter of fact, I'm looking for a headline. It says that it was sold. There is no headlines. They have not sold it. So where else do we go from here? We saw platinum. So, in many ways, you want to say, hey, let's look at Bitcoin. See what they're doing with the cryptos. See if their cryptos should be marching along on the upside. That's where my head is at. Let's see where they are in reality. Yes, it is. Pushing up. Now, that's interesting. Look at that little weakness we got going on this morning. That's interesting. Very interesting. Closed in a weekly buy. Now I can move that over and change the color to that. It's playing with the weekly sell. That's odd. But that's the way it goes, traders. We follow the numbers. And it closed in a weekly buy last week. I really believe that the Bitcoin in particular is a really, really clear tool, for leading the stock indices. We see it many times. It was falling apart here. You see that, right here. You see as the markets were not falling apart. And then we put let's put like the S&P 500 up on J4X to give it as an example. And then right there. So you can see it was running up high. This refused to make a new high. This made a new high. Did it make a new high? No, it just made a big bounce, whereas this didn't have a bounce and it kept on breaking down. Stayed in the sell for 15 days or something like that. Climbed into the weekly sell. You can see here the fast broke down with the slow. So it was very hard. It was battling hard to get going. Matter of fact, at 1.3 weeks back, it broke underneath the zero line and brought it back up again from this move up, that bounce. And then this time there was no bounce here. No bounce at all. Let's see, where is it? Where's that at? And that is that, right? Yeah, so that's the bounce. And then, let's see, what am I looking here for? Let's see. So is that the bounce? That's the bounce right there. Let's just double check the time frame there. That is on the 215. And this is, that's 203. There's 215. Is that 215? That's 215 right there. So that's 215. And it just did a nice little move up and then rolled over. And we didn't get that nice hump here. And now, what's going on with this? This is, that is the S&P 500. And then let's take a look at Bitcoin in there. It led the stock indices down. That's the best part about it. There it is. There's the Bitcoin. Popping up and then taking off. And then the stock indices joined in. Let's put it up on J4X again, right there. And then they joined in. They're trying to join in right there. Now, let's put it up on this screen. Right there. And you can see it's higher than Friday. It is higher. And they're trying to take it up. And it's in a daily buy for a bunch of days. But the weekly cannot get going. And what we talked about on Thursday and Friday of last week, how the Tech 100 was going. In other words, it's interpreting that the interest rates are coming down. That's what it's screaming at us. It's screaming in our face that they're coming down. That's what it's saying. Now the statistical CME indicator is saying that quarter point to no increase at this point for Wednesday. I don't know. I think they'll do a quarter, and then I think they'll back off. Matter of fact, they'll try to talk like as if they're watching, but they're still going to raise rates because inflation, blah, blah, blah. You can see here, it climbed through it right there with the weekly, both the fast and the slow. And it's up above still today, doing better, and its daily has been in a buy for 5 days now. Very firm here, the Tech 100. This is very, very interest sensitive. There we go. And there's the sell. Let's see now. Anybody want to see anything particular before I go off to the next side of this? Let's see. We did the metals, and we were looking at Bitcoin and the stock indices, just a flavor of it, So now we'll go over to the energies, and there is the front month oil. It's actually getting into the plus now. It's got over, is that a $2? It's over a $2 move today. $2.64 move from the low to the high. The high is 67.70. The low is 64.36. That's $3.34 move from low to high. That's pretty impressive. We're in the weekly sell. It doesn't look like it's trying to climb back into the buy whatsoever. So I think it's just a little dead cat bounce. That's all it looks like to me. And so what will happen is that we'll probably see it rolling over again over the next day or two. Let's take a look at the back month. That's trading at 66.95 as we speak, and the back month is trading at 60. Let's try that again. Front month in May is trading at 67.03 now, and the back month is trading at 67.30. So it's about a 27-cent premium. We've seen it go from almost zero over the last 3 days to a 30-cent premium now. And it wouldn't surprise me if we get up to like a 50-cent premium. What else can we say about these products? I don't have much to say about them at this point. I think I've said it all. If you want a better interpretation, just ask me a question and I'll give you a better interpretation. But right now, what it makes clear to me is that they'll bounce it a little bit and then it'll keep on going down. If it's not today, it'll be tomorrow. Oh, look at that. It is trying to get in through the buy now on the July. Now let's see what the front month, May, is looking like. Doing the same thing. It's trying to get through the buy number. Interesting. But the weeklies are very anemic. They're not trying to turn much. I mean, they're turning, but they're not lifting, you know. Let's check it out over on J4X. Here's the Brent. Here's the Brent. Where are you? It's here somewhere. Gas. There's dollar index. It's gotta be. Oh, there it is. There's Brent. It's trading at 73. You see it's been doing that same thing. It's working its way down, just like we see over here on Chicago Quant. You know, sliding down. Pressure's on. They're just really. See. There's not really anything more than that when it comes down to the energy sector. We're coming into the driving season. Prices are dropping around here, so that's pretty cool. It's still almost twice as much as when Mr. Trump was in office. That's disappointing. But that's classic. When socialists get their hands on something, they find a way to, slow it down or stop it. That's pretty much the way it goes. They like stability. They are QE. No, how else can you describe them? All right. From there, we'll put up. What will we put up? We will put up. Oh, not that. I want to do this. There we go. That's better. Let's put up natural gas. Let's see what the natural gas is doing. And there it is right there. Natural gas is trying to lift up. It's been showing that. Now it's gotten the red dot's gone. When we sent that out this morning, the red dot was in there. Save workspace. And let's copy that puppy. Save it. Natty gas. There we go. Then we go and take a look at the energy company down in Spain. That's the only way we can tell what they're doing in Europe with natural gas. Janos is trying to get them to put together some type of contract, but it's becoming very hard. It's the delivery problem. He said, they're having delivery problems. I said, yeah, I know. That's always the problem. Let's see, what am I looking for here? Oh, Espanol natural gas. Where are you? It's here somewhere. That's it right there. Okay. 26 is still hanging between the high 26s to the mid 26s. It's it's not really changing much. I understand that Europe is using 15% less natural gas than they had before because they've moved to coal. They're moving to coal because it's cheaper and faster. And what else are they moving to? They're trying to think what else. They'll get their act together. They're going to start. They're starting to learn. This is not the way to. You can't. You can try to deal with opposition countries like Russia, and you try to trade with them and you try to do things, but then they get carried away and they get excited, It's like next thing you know they're humping on your leg, and that's exactly what's going on. Is that they've really hurt Europe. I mean, I saw I think it was the Bulgarian president. No, it was the Bucharest one. It wasn't Bulgaria. It was where's Belgrade? In those two B's trap me all the time. In Budapest. What country is that? Either way, I saw him talking with the president of Turkey, and they were saying, Europe is tired of this war. We want it to end. Can't we negotiate something? You've negotiated trading wheat with the Russians, letting them export it. Let the exports get out. So, can't you try to help get a settlement to this war? And I understand Mr. Putin was in one of the controlled cities over the weekend. So I don't know. Well, I guess they'll keep on pushing, and I don't know. I don't see it playing out the way they think it's going to play out. That's for sure. But only time tells in the end. Only time tells. All right, from there, we swing by. Where are we heading for now? I guess we could take a look at the S&P and so forth a little bit more in depth. There's the S&P. I would like to see the weekly get going. So far, it's not. Whereas when we look at the Tech 100, it's cleanly through the weekly buy. And when it comes to the Dow Jones Industrial Average, let's find that. Same situation. It's not lifting very well. Right there it is. It's just kind of moping along. It's in a buy for the last couple of days, 4 or 5 days. But that weekly just is not lifting up. Neither lines are even getting close to the manifold. On the negative side, they're buried underneath it. A lot of pressure there. Russian making atom plant in Madagascar, is it? Their president is Orban? Budapest. That's it. So, yeah, I mean, look, nuclear energy is very efficient. It's I don't know, I can't, I hear advertisements. I have a physics background. And I hear advertisements, and they talk about renewable energies, and that defies Newton's law that energy cannot be created or destroyed. It's not renewable. Now you have wind and so forth, and that are collecting, being developed through motion, air motion, the wind, windmills, and then you can do the same thing with some type of bobbing type of device in oceans, catching the power of the waves and so forth. But sometimes these things calm down and they don't work at all. And so it's kind of disingenuous to call it renewable, or they're just alternate energy sources. That's all they are. And they're not the main ones, and they're not going to be the main ones for a long time. We need to build up our technology much more to justify it all. So that is where we stand on that one. So from there, I guess we go over and we saw Bitcoin. Bitcoin is looking very firm. The weekly's a little sloppy at the moment, but we'll see by the end of the week. And we saw copper. We saw the energies. Take a look at the bonds. You can see here, this is the 30-year bond is down. It is down from yesterday, and it's off its highs from today. And it's making its way back, and it closed in a weekly buy. So the pressure on interest rates is down. And that's why the Tech 100, you can see it there on the bond. So then we go to the Tech 100, and you'll see it there at the same time. trying to climb up. In a buy, closing a weekly buy last week, as I showed you before. Let's look at the weakest of our stock indices that trades around here, and that is the Russell 2000. It's trying to lift. It's still in that weekly sell now for 3 weeks since this area here. You can see how it drifted underneath. It's a very speculative index. Oh, what do we got here? So Hungary, that's it. Hungary, that's what I was looking for. It's not with a B, it's with an H. Hungary must go with Russia. They also have long-term contracts on Russian gas, the last in EU. So Hungary President Orban blocking everything on NATO, etc. Really? Wow. That's wild stuff. Because they are supplying equipment to Ukraine at the same time. So I guess it's one of those things where they're trying to play both sides of the fence. Well, good for them. Diplomacy always is a nice thing to see, but not. What was Neville Chamberlain? What do they call him? What do they do? Where they capitulate? Appeasement. That's it. Appeasement is never good, but negotiations are good, long as they are legitimate negotiations. In other words, where everybody gets a slice of the pie. That's usually the best way to look at it. All right, traders. We start the markets in a few minutes. No news out there right now. The big day will be Wednesday. So we're going to get out of here. We got to come up with a title too at the same time. What should we call this? Oh, there's Jonas. So let's see what we got going on here. Let's find a title today. And I guess we could say is banks are firmer and the banking system is much stronger than people think. I think that's the best way to describe it. Because that's what we started talking about this morning. I would just like to see SVB sold, that's all. And it will. They'll finally surrender and do it. So, happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all our trading friends. Later, traders.